understanding the basic psychology of the dog you have in your house is quite important.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. The purpose of this channel is to help educate the pet owners on basic principles of behavioural science, along with understanding their dog, their body cues, and how to better communicate with their dog, giving them a better life and their dog a better life too. Today's subject is operant conditioning. So operant conditioning is a learning process that targets behaviour under our control. Think of conscious choices, deliberate actions. Let's say you were starting a new behaviour, okay? So you're starting to go to the gym at 6 a.m. in the morning, right? And you get up at 6 a.m. and you're getting ready to go to the gym, and you're lying in bed, you're thinking, I could get up, I could go to the gym, or I could stay in bed, okay? So you've got two choices, okay? One is going to be more reinforcing than the other. So initially, because it's a new behavior, so lying in bed and staying there might be more desirable for you versus the going to the gym at this point. However, if you went to the gym for 14 days, you got up at the same time, by the 14th day, it might be more desirable to go to the gym, okay? So that consequence would become more desirable because of the feeling and the effect that it had on you by getting up and going to the gym, okay? So operant conditioning is different to classical conditioning in the sense of classical conditioning is a pairing process. So operant conditioning is controlled by its consequences. So if we go to the gym every day over time, that consequence become more desirable, therefore it's easier for us to do that behavior. If the consequence is desirable, the behavior that produced the consequence will happen again. Cool? So operant conditioning is a term that we use a lot in dog training, and it's something that we use a lot with the dog in terms of training and decision-making process for a dog. So there's a few elements to it. So we have reinforcement and punishment, okay? So the word punishment has a very big stigma, okay? The second we hear punishment, we think we're saying, no, bad dog, okay? So punishment just means the behavior reduces, the reduction of the behavior, okay? Reinforcement just means the behavior increases, okay? So we have positive reinforcement, negative reinforcement, positive punishment, and negative punishment, okay? So positive reinforcement is adding something, behavior increases, or it's more likely to occur in the future, okay? Negative reinforcement is taking something away, the behavior is more likely to occur in the future, okay? So that can be a little bit confusing, right? We hear the word positive, we think it means something positive. It doesn't actually mean that. All it means is, it doesn't mean the behavior is good or bad. Positive reinforcement just means we're adding something and the behavior is more likely to occur in the future. So let me give you an example. So we had a toddler, a 3-year-old toddler, and it was swinging on the curtains, okay? And we said to the toddler, what are you doing? And the toddler got off the curtains, okay? However, the toddler started to do that behavior more frequently. So every time the toddler swung on the curtains, we said the same thing, what are you doing? And then the toddler stopped. Okay, in our mind, we're punishing the behavior, so we're telling the child to stop and it's stopping. However, if the behavior continues to happen or happens more frequently, it's likely that our communication is actually reinforcing, okay? So we're adding something and we're actually increasing the behavior. So a lot of this depends on how the organism, in this case the child, perceives the communication. And the same thing for your dog, right? So you're trying to communicate to your dog, you're saying no, but in the dog's mind, he may be hearing go, okay? So identifying and looking at things from an approach of, over time, is this behavior getting better or worse, and taking, I guess, that type of lens on what's happening in the day-to-day living, helps keep you on track and let you know if you're heading in the right direction. So negative reinforcement. So in human terms, that could be, say I'm nagging somebody to do the dishes. I'm like, do the dishes, do the dishes, do the dishes. And I kept doing that and it was annoying, okay? And then eventually you started doing the dishes and I stopped nagging, okay? That will be negative reinforcement. The stimulus being me saying do the dishes stopped when you did the dishes, okay? And then say you went back to the cupboard, you tried to get a cookie and I said do the dishes, I started again, you went back and started doing the dishes, that would be negative reinforcement, okay? Dogs terms, leash guidance a lot of the time can be negative reinforcement, or guidance on a harness. If we had a dog that's barking out of fear and then the person moves away when it's barking, that could be negative reinforcement. So negative reinforcement is just taking something away and the behavior goes up, okay? So next we have is positive punishment, okay? So positive punishment is adding something, behavior decreases. So say we had a human and the human is doing a behavior that we want them to stop, like they keep picking up a water bottle and throwing it at you. And then we say to them, hey James, I really hate you throwing that water bottle at me, please stop. And then the behavior stopped. That would be positive punishment. So we're adding something and the behavior reduces, okay? As an extreme version of positive punishment would be 50 years ago, a child getting the belt. That would be positive punishment as well, but that would be a very extreme version of it, which would be very, very aversive, okay? We always want to use the least aversive methods possible. So the problem with aversive training is the organism starts doing something just to avoid something from occurring, okay? So if we had, say, a trainer that was just using very heavy aversive methods and they were punishing dogs, they were using harsh leash corrections or high-level e-collar corrections or physical corrections, and when the dog was doing jumping up, say it was jumping up for attention, what could happen is the behavior would only stop because the aversive is present, okay? And that aversive could be paired with the trainer or could be paired with the owner. So the organism's only not doing the behavior because of the aversive's present. If we remove the aversive, the behavior would just come back. Okay, so the problem with aversive training is it kind of covers things up, okay? There's a place for it, but 99.9% of cases you can solve without it. You want to try all methods before getting to that point, and a lot of the time, like I said, it can be avoided. So if you're seeing a trainer and the trainer's talking to you about, I do this, I have pack methods, whatever it may be, it's likely they're just turning the behavior off without identifying the function, okay? And that can be very, very dangerous. So the next would be negative punishment, okay? So taking something away, behavior reduces. This is a very, very effective method when used correctly and when knowing exactly what the function of the behavior is, okay? So let's say we had a child that didn't do its homework, okay? And it hadn't done its homework and then it went and played on the PlayStation. We could punish the child by taking the PlayStation away, and we would be punishing the child for the behavior of avoiding doing the homework. Okay, the child then started doing the homework. We could praise the child, which would be positive reinforcement, and then we could even give the PlayStation back at the end once the behavior had been completed, which would also be positive reinforcement. Okay, so we want to set up situations where we can find somewhere to reinforce, so use positive reinforcement to reinforce a wanted behavior, and we use negative punishment, taking things away, but then we try and manufacture situations where we can reinforce wanted behaviors. Okay, that's the most effective way to change and shape behavior with the least aversive methods possible. Okay, so you could look at maybe the way I communicated was actually positive punishment to them and I didn't realize. Then you could, oh, that's fine, you can go and adjust the way you're communicating with them. But if you're communicating and you're saying, say your dog's quite sensitive and you raise your voice and the dog freaks out, to you might just be raising your voice a little bit because it's a little bit frustrating. However, to the dog, it could be super aversive, and that could actually be causing a problem in your relationship, and you're seeing inconsistency in the dog's behavior because there's actually an aversive present. Okay, so just looking at the things around you and seeing how things are responding to your communication and utilizing this chart as a building block and something to refer to give you more insight into how this all works. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, we're here to educate and help people learn and grow. So if you guys have any topics you want me to talk about, any feedback, please feel free to pop a comment in the questions below. Thanks guys.